everyone, this is Rider-Waite Tarot, and today's reading is for November 2021. As usual, we have 3 piles of cards here to choose from. Pile number 1, we have an oracle card called Anahata here, so it refers to the heart chakra and to love, compassion, and connection. Pile 2, this is called core, and it refers to wisdom, solitude, and inner growth. And then pile 3, we have a card called 1, and it's about new beginnings and adventures and excitement. So 3 piles to choose from. You may pick based on your intuition. Maybe you feel drawn to one of these pictures or to one of these card meanings, their messages. It's up to you, and very soon I will give you a few moments alone with these cards so you can just have a moment alone with them to see which one you feel most drawn to. But before we get to that section, I just wanted to remind you that this reading is a general one, and that means that only take in those messages that you resonate with and leave out the rest. Okay? So now I will give you about 10 seconds with these piles, and you can look at them without me talking. So if you need more time than 10 seconds, feel free to pause the video. Okay? Hello, pile number 1. You chose this oracle card called Anahata, and underneath we have your cards that I draw for you. So let's have a look. So what I did this time is draw 3 different cards from 3 different piles to represent different kinds of energies that may or may not be present in your life in November. So the first pile that we have here, we have 5 of Wands, King of Chalices, and the Devil. So let me just place these cards here in the middle so you can see them better. So this first pile, I just feel like you are feeling quite trapped and conflicted about something. It's probably something that brings up a lot of emotions, like very in-depth emotions. So it's an emotional topic for you. It could be a person that is making you feel this way, perhaps a water sign, and you are very attached to them. It could be a love interest or a family member or a friend, it could be anybody, but I feel like if it is a person, it is a water sign or someone who is quite emotional, probably. It could be also an emotional topic, if it's not about one specific person. I just feel like you don't know which way to go, or there may be disagreements about something, or you are just feeling very kind of conflicted and attacked even. It's possible that it isn't about an unhealthy attachment to a person or a situation. There's this sense of not moving forward and maybe even feeling hurt by it. So I feel like the first thing to do is to untangle yourself. Don't repress emotions, but don't be swayed by them either. So it's very important to be like this King of Chalices here. He's very emotionally mature. So he feels his emotions, but is not chaotic about them. So I feel like that is the way to move forward if this whole 3-card reading resonates with you. Okay, so let me just put these cards aside and let's look at the next 3 cards. And these cards may or may not be related to these cards here. So it's up to you to pay attention to the reading and make the connections, based on my interpretation of these cards. So the Magician tells me that you are creating something new in your life, or there's some sort of a new beginning happening. The Ace of Cups tells me that it has something to do with creative and emotional inspiration, but the Aces always remind us that it's up to us to do something with the inspiration that we get. So I feel like you have what it takes, and maybe you feel inspired to do something, but it doesn't just come down from the sky, even though the inspiration may feel like that. But let's say that you want to write a book or do something creative like that. You may have an idea for what you want to do, like write a book. There's the story in your head, but it's up to you to kind of sit down and write down that story in your head. Okay, so this is what's happening here. So it could be a creative project, it could be in spiritual insight, or maybe even a new relationship or a new friendship. I feel like it is something emotionally and inspirationally important to you. And then once you start building on that inspiration, there's very fast movement, there's momentum, and after that you only need to go with the flow, at least for the time being. Let's say you have this inspiration for a book or some kind of other creative project. So when you sit down and you write it, and you start writing, that's when things start happening really fast. So I feel like in November you are really following some sort of creative inspiration or spiritual inspiration or inspiration in your love life, something like that, some sort of a new beginning or insight happening in your life in November. Okay, and the next 3 cards that I pulled are Page of Pentacles, Strength, and Ace of Wands. Well, the Page of Pentacles, he's a visionary. He has an idea. So he's at this point where he has received an inspiration to do something. And pages like aces, they're all about either you using that energy to do something with it, or you receiving some kind of messages, like a message, like maybe someone suggests that you write a book together, let's say, something like that. So it could be a message from another person or a creative inspiration, an idea that you want to create something in your life. And I just feel like it requires kind of strength and patience on your behalf to go through this process, but there is a lot of action and and there's a lot of confidence on your behalf. And I kind of feel like these cards here, it's possible that they are related to this thing that I was talking about here. So here we have some sort of spiritual or inspirational, spiritual or, you know, love related or creative inspiration that you get. And with the wands here, I feel like then you start building on this momentum and, you know, building on what you want to create, you know, be it a creative project or a spiritual path or a relationship. Okay. So here I feel like there's definitely something that is keeping you stagnant and not really like moving forward. But in the end, you will be able to overcome it and start building something new for yourself. You know, that's the theme that I, you know, get for your November this year. Okay. And lastly, I pulled 2 oracle cards to kind of complete the reading and to give you some extra bit of advice in the end. So we have creation and 9 of earth, apple here. So the creation card is very simply about, you know, trusting your gifts and following, you know, whatever inspiration you may have to create something new in your life. So it could be like actually doing something with like art or writing, or it could be like creating something new in the realm of relationships, like maybe starting a new romance, or if you're like thinking about having kids, it could be like a creative project like that. So anything like, you know, anything that revolves around like creating something new in your life. So it's very apt for these cards that we pulled before. So yeah, just trust your gifts in this creative project. And then we have the 9 of earth. So this is the 9 of pentacles, which is all about self-sufficiency and independence. And I feel like this card advises you to, you know, share the gifts that you have, your abundance, with the world. So definitely trust this new creative path that you are on and share yourself with the world. Don't hold yourself back and just, you know, trust the process. It's a cliche, but yeah, it's true in some cases. So pile number 1, that was your reading for November 2021. I really hope that you got something out of it, that it was beneficial to you. If you feel like this reading resonated with you, please leave a comment or like this video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that if you want to support this channel. I always appreciate it so much. So thank you so much for tuning in, and till next time, bye bye. Hello everyone who chose pile 2 with this core card, and underneath we have the cards that I pulled for you. So this time I pulled 3 cards from 3 different decks, and so I will show these 3 cards first. So these are sort of like energies, like all 3 different, you know, piles. They're different energies that may or may not be present in your life in November. So it's up to you to listen to the messages and if they resonate with you. Okay, so first we have 6 of coins, Five of Swords and Three of Chalices here. So I feel like there is some sort of conflict or an argument happening in your life, involving resources, like perhaps finances or emotions, or perhaps both. It could be with your friends or with someone that you have an unequal relationship with. Like, I feel like it could be with someone that is providing for you, like maybe a partner or a boss, who's in charge of your paychecks or something like that. Or it's just an uneven or unequal relationship in your friendships or something like that. I feel like there is a sense of kind of like power play in this dynamic happening. So one of you wants the upper hand in this situation. One of you maybe like wants to be the winner in this case. However, with these two positive cards here, so we have the Six of Coins, which is about like generosity and charity at its most positive, and here's a card of friendship, so I feel like you will be able to solve it. But just don't get into huge arguments, or don't be too harsh with these swords, which can represent like you communicating with another person or other people, or being too harsh on yourself, like your mental processes. But yeah, I feel like it is some sort of like power play situation going on in some relationship in your life, and it probably has something to do with like money or other resources, like maybe time, something like that. Okay, so the next three cards may or may not be related to these cards here. Could be an entirely different message for you. Let's see. So then we have the Knight of Cups, Six of Cups, and Seven of Pentacles. The Knight of Cups tells me that either someone approaches you romantically, or you are the one doing that. Like maybe you are actively seeking a relationship if you're single, or if you are in a relationship, maybe it's a very romantic period in your relationship, and it's possible that you are considering like having kids or thinking about it, or maybe building a home, moving in together or something like that, because the Six of Cups has this very kind of sweet, homely, nostalgic vibe. So if you're single and you are looking to meet someone, it could be someone that you know from before, or maybe it's someone that they just make you feel very much at ease, like like you've known them always, even though you just met them. Okay, but then we have this card. To me, this card is always about like wait and see, like there's progress and growth, but it kind of remains to be seen what happens in the future. Like you've sort of done the work here, and now it's like up to you to see and be patient in seeing where it goes. So I feel like there is some sort of movement happening in your life, possibly in your love life, or in another like important relationship in your life, but kind of like the end resolution, it's not happening in November. You're still kind of like left pending, but you've already done the work, so it will bear fruit at some point in the near future, I feel like, because of the Knight of Cups. So maybe in a month or two. Okay, and then the next three cards that I pulled are Six of Swords, Temperance, and Judgment. Okay, so you're definitely leaving behind something negative in your life. So it could be an unhappy period in your life that was maybe toxic, like a negative mindset, or a toxic relationship, or like maybe an argument that you were having with someone or some other people, like your friends or something, and you are definitely entering this new, more balanced reality, and I feel like it will last for a very long time. I feel like it is a very gradual change, but the change has been initiated, and you just have to trust that it's a journey, and you just have to listen to your intuition or your inspiration, or if you have any like people or situations in your life that kind of call you, like this angel here is calling these people, and then you just have to trust it. There may be some pain kind of remaining in your life, but I feel like you are definitely moving towards a more positive future in your life. Okay, and lastly, I pulled a few cards, one tarot card and two oracle cards, for extra bit of advice before we tie down this reading. So we have the World, Pachamama, Perseverance, and Joy here. So I definitely feel like a cycle is coming to an end in your life, like I said here. A new reality, a new journey is starting for you. So there's this sense of accomplishment or a lesson learned at this point. So, whatever hardships that you have gone through or are still going through, just know that it's the end of the journey, and like the worst has happened, and you've already like learned everything that you need to know in this part of life, and there's this new chapter starting in your life, and it does require perseverance on your path, especially if you are in the middle of some sort of conflict. But if you are kind of like steadfast and you just trust the process, it's a cliche. I said the same thing for pile one, but yeah, like trust the process. It's a cliche, but sometimes it's a good advice. And then we have this card called Joy here, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's a very joyful card, as you can see. So just enjoy life and be grateful for what you've got in life. Or if you're not at this point yet, just imagine a picture of what could be, and just enjoy even those tiny little things that bring happiness into your life. If you can see, like, these cards really match so well. The lighting is a little bit yellowish right now, but we have yellow and orange here, and we have yellow and orange here. So these are just very joyful cards here, all three of these. So yeah, trust that whatever hardships that you may be experiencing, they're about to end. When we are talking about like this specific chapter in your life, it does require some perseverance on your behalf to get through it all. But like, if you can find joy in those small things in life, I feel like you will be able to move past like the hard stuff and just get to this point in life where you're just like super happy and grateful about everything new that is coming your way. Okay, so pile number 2, that was your reading. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that it provided some useful messages for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and if you feel called to do so, please comment and like this video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. I always appreciate the support, and a big shout out to all of my subscribers already. I really appreciate having you here. So thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye. Hello everyone who chose pile 3 with this card called 1. And here underneath we have your cards that I pulled for you. So this time I did something different, and I pulled 3 different cards from 3 different piles to represent different energies in your life in November. So some of these messages may resonate with you and others may not, so it's up to you to kind of pay attention and to decipher the messages based on my interpretation of these cards. Okay, so first 3 cards that we have here are 7 of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Moon. So I strongly feel like this card here is about self-deception, and maybe we're coming to terms with it here because we have these 2 cards that are very much about like your internal world. So the Moon is, to me, it's always about like, on one hand it's about like dreams and wishful thinking, and on the other it's about like fears and anxieties. So it's really like this subconscious influence in your life. And then we have the High Priestess, which is a bit more sober. It's also about the unknown, but it's not so like deep underneath in a way. I feel like it's more about like coming to terms with things that the Moon may represent and like bringing them into like consciousness. Okay, so yeah, like I said, you are like, maybe you've been like deceiving yourself or other people in your life, and now you're sort of like looking within yourself and just seeing who you are deep within, and whatever like subconscious dreams or subconscious anxieties may be ruling your life, and why they are making you act in this way. Like, this card to me is about like avoidance and sneakiness, even like betrayal and cheating, like these kind of negative aspects in your life. Like, it can be a positive card as well, like strategic thinking, but in this case I feel like it's kind of, you're looking at those a bit more negative aspects of yourself. So like I said, maybe you haven't been that honest with yourself or with other people in your life, and now you are just like re-evaluating your actions and like what led you to act in certain ways. It's possible that something external triggers this process in you. Like, it could be that this is like another person who acts in a deceiving way, and that makes you gonna go within. But I still feel like that for most of you, this is about like self-deception. So you have to face what you've been hiding from yourself and maybe from other people in this coming November. Very interesting, I think. It takes a lot of courage to go through a process like that. Okay, and then we have these 3 cards: 3 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, and 5 of Wands. So this one here tells me of sadness and uncertainty. So maybe someone or something has hurt you. You're not really sure how to proceed. I feel like you are still healing from it. Threes are all about like progress and growth. So I feel like this is something that happened in your life previously. Like maybe it happened, just before November, or it has happened earlier in your life, and you're still kind of healing from all of that, and coming to terms with things, like whatever happened. Like maybe this is a breakup or some sort of like other thing that made you sad. It's not necessarily like a breakup or anything like that. It could be that you just felt like really disappointed by something, or or you just like, it could be like maybe you haven't been able to see your friends because of like different circumstances, like, but whatever it is, it has left you feeling quite puzzled and like maybe there are two different paths that you're not really sure which way to go, which one to choose, or you're kind of trying to juggle between two different people or two different circumstances, situations, something like that. Maybe it was a conflict or an argument, or maybe like differences of opinion with someone else, with several people, or with one person. It's always possible that you were the one who broke someone's heart, and that's why you're feeling like sad. So it's not always also about like your heart being broken. But yeah, there's a sense of like sadness and uncertainty and conflict. I feel like you just have to go within your heart to see, the way out. Maybe it has something to do with this whole situation here. Like maybe this is the reason that you're kind of like looking within and coming face to face with who you are on the inside. Okay, and then we have these three cards: the Fool, Justice, and the Tsar. Very powerful cards. Three major arcana cards here, as well as here. It's a lot of major arcana cards. So yeah, you're definitely healing from something. I feel like it, this whole, like all of these cards could be related to one specific thing, like maybe an argument or a conflict, something. I'm not really going into details for you. You probably know what I'm talking about if this reading resonates with you. But yeah, there's definitely like healing happening in your life, and there's a lot of like hope and excitement for a fresh new start. But like before you are able to start on this new journey, I feel like justice needs to be served and balance needs to be achieved. So there are always consequences for your actions. So I feel like if it is you that has been kind of like hurtful towards other people or someone else, or you've been kind of like deceiving other people or deceiving yourself, you just have to kind of face the consequences before you are able to move on and start on this healing process. Or if it is another person that has hurt you, I feel like it is definitely important to get some sort of closure for this whole thing. Maybe for some of you it may actually happen in the court of law, but it could be also about like you feeling set free by someone else admitting their mistake or apologizing after an argument. Or if that is not what you are getting, I think it will be important for you to kind of like see if it is beneficial to kind of like seek closure. to be able to start this healing process. Yeah, but definitely very powerful cards, kind of like inspirational cards, because we have like some tough energies here. But yeah, these cards are giving me a lot of hope that, you know, November will turn out for the best for you. Like, it may have some rough days, but yeah, there's some, you know, also, you know, a lot of hope for a better tomorrow. Okay. And lastly, I pulled 2 advice cards to tie together this reading. 1 oracle card and 1 tarot card. So first we have a card called Destiny. So this card is all about, you know, true love and destiny that happens with romantic relationships. So like, maybe it's a cliche, but some things just, you know, they're just meant to be. And you need to trust that. So I feel like for some of you, this could be like a romantic relationship, like this whole, you know, thing in these cards. So trust that, like, whatever is meant to be is meant to be, but at the same time, you know, don't be afraid to form your own destiny. Like here in this story, these 2 people, they're in love and they just request to be together in their new life. You know, they're like souls moving on to a new life. So that is what they are requesting. They are kind of requesting their destiny to be shared in their new life. Okay, so yeah, sometimes you need to take, you know, destiny into your own hands. Okay, and then we have 5 of Fire. So this card is all about, you know, examining your anger, your negative emotions. So like, is it righteous anger, or is it just anger born out of like fears and insecurities? So it could be something that you are, you know, observing in yourself when we are looking at this, you know, card here in the beginning. And it's also an advice to use your anger or negative emotions as a fuel. So sometimes, like, when we're angry, it can be about like very important things like social change or change within relationships or facing someone who mistreats us. So yeah, negative emotions can be very beneficial for you if you can learn to use them in the correct way. So that is what this card advises you to do. Okay, so just look, don't be afraid to look into your, you know, negative aspects, and, you know, try to grow from them, try to learn from them. Okay, so pile 3, that was your reading for November 2021. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading and that it provided some useful messages for you. If you feel called to do so, please like and comment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that if you feel called to do so again. And I always appreciate the support, and I really appreciate you if you have already subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for watching. Until next time.